Hello, HMS Bobcats. Mr. Flater here. Welcome back to another great week at the Helena Middle School. A brand new Bob lesson for you today, recording it right here on the spot. This Bob lesson, I think it's going to be titled, Would You Rather Be Liked or Respected, is a conversation piece that I've came to probably dozens of times with students and having conversations over the years, and I decided to turn it into a Bob lesson and kind of hit some key points of where this liked versus respected thing when it comes to interpersonal relationships it seems to happen. I think in interpersonal relationships, a lot of times we have a real decision to make. Would we rather be liked by people or would we rather be respected? And what's more important to you? Um, Ideally, we would like to have both, but sometimes you don't get both. And sometimes that means that you have a decision to make. So we're going to get rocking and rolling on this Bob lesson. Got a few ideas for you here. Hope you all have a great week and we make it a great day. All right, like I said in the intro, this week's Bob lesson, would you rather be liked or respected? But first things first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be safe, let's be responsible, let's be respectful, let's be a learner. All right, my first example of behaviors that maybe I see with middle school students and students of all ages and human beings of all ages is disrespecting someone for your bystander's entertainment. So, in other words, disrespecting, teasing, bullying somebody else so that those people around you can have the entertainment of it. Believe it or not, some of our peers like the entertainment, especially when they're not in the danger of repercussions, of having the repercussions. Maybe you see this with the substitute teacher too, where your peers aren't going to be the ones to be disrespectful, but but they don't mind it if somebody else puts their neck on the line to do it because they like to sit back and watch the drama or watch the entertainment. Something to think about, if they'll do it to somebody else, what would stop them from eventually turning and doing it to you? That is, if they'll disrespect somebody else, they'll tease somebody else in order to be liked, accepted by their peers, what would stop them from doing it to you someday? Right? Somebody that doesn't care about being liked but cares about being respected is going to be somebody that is treating everyone with respect all the time, right? And knowing that their peers and those people around them are going to recognize that that person has a reputation of treating everyone with respect all the time. And the right people are going to respect that and like them for it. The wrong people might respect them, but may not respect them or might not like them. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next one, stupid human tricks. I call this stupid human tricks. I see this a lot with middle school students. Basically just doing really dumb things for the entertainment, validation, attention seeking of their peers, doing something to gain, doing something again to entertain your peers. Just like before, it's all about entertaining somebody else and getting validation from somebody else. And a lot of times this is putting your own safety at risk, right? That's why I call it kind of stupid human tricks, is when you're doing something that could result in harm to yourself or harm to others, and your main goal is to be liked or to provide entertainment for somebody else. When we do this, it's communicating, what it really is communicating a lack of self-respect that is going to go ahead, and we're going to put that lack of self-respect, or that self-respect we do have, we're going to put it to the side in favor of conditional acceptance. And notice I put conditional on there. It's like you're only accepted if you're providing entertainment, putting your own self-respect to the side and doing these stupid human tricks. And what that really is communicating beyond the behaviors, is that I don't really have a whole lot of self-respect for myself, and that's going to be a trend you're going to see as we continue on here. So something to think about. All right, this next one might be my favorite, and that's compromising your morals to be liked. We all have a moral compass that we hopefully listen to when it comes to knowing what is right from what is wrong. And I've talked about before, when it comes to friendships, compromising is an important skill. Okay, let's not forget that for healthy relationships. But when that compromise comes at a moral cost, in other words, we have to kind of smudge the line and move the line a little bit in terms of what our morals are to be liked or to be accepted by others. what is that really communicating to other people about us and about that self-respect that we have for ourselves? I want to tell you a quick real life story of something that happened this weekend. I received a friend request on social media from a female that looked to be, I don't know, mid 30s. And like I usually do before I accept friendship requests, I go and see, do I know this person? Well, I didn't even do that on this one because the first thing that stuck out was the profile picture and the background picture. And what stood out to me was this person had very little to no clothing on. And when I went and looked a little bit closer, not at the picture, but at the comments and the likes, I noticed that this person was getting lots of likes, lots of comments from 95% men. And I stopped and I thought about this Bob lesson, and I thought about what is this person really trying to communicate to other people, and what is it that they want? They're getting lots of likes and lots of likable comments, but are they getting respect, and are they communicating to the world that I am somebody that deserves respect? I want to talk about real quick how this plays out sometimes in middle school. Every year I see middle school students where they will request maybe revealing pictures from somebody else. And if that other person likes that person and wants to be liked, a lot of times they make the mistake of giving in, um, giving in on their morals, and sending a revealing picture. And this is a huge mistake for a lot of reasons. Number one, you don't know where that picture is going to end up. Number two, some of these revealing pictures can be against the law, and that can get law enforcement involved. But what it really communicates is, I so badly want to be liked by you that I'm willing to jeopardize my morals and sell out the chance that you will respect me. So there's many other I guess, similarities or stories or examples out there, but this is a really important one that I wanted to share with you guys, and that's compromising your morals, your sense of right and wrong in order to be liked. Very hard to do that and keep your self respect and command respect from other people. Ooh, this one, honesty. How many times do we make mistakes? We're human beings and we're going to make mistakes. One of my favorite quotes from Jordan Peterson is tell the truth or at least don't lie. That was a chapter in one of his books I read. Honesty sometimes is hard because we don't want to displease somebody else. And a lot of times we end up telling a lie just so that that person will remain happy or remain likable. But then inevitably, the truth comes out. People make mistakes, but eventually the truth comes out in the end. So, really, if we're looking to be liked, that might work in the short term. But if we're honest and we don't lie and we tell the truth, that's probably going to help our long-term relationship. And our long-term relationship is more built and geared around respect, in my opinion. Last but not least, and a lot of this comes down to boundaries, diffuse versus rigid boundaries. This was kind of Miss Glucker's take on this. To command respect from others usually means you have to have healthy boundaries with people. And that's a part of growing up. That's a part of interpersonal skills that we're all learning is holding those boundaries with people. A lot of times being liked can also be synonymous with having diffuse or not very good or unclear or poor boundaries or boundaries that aren't very strong that are easy for other people to kind of cross. And really having others pleasing or people pleasing behaviors. Again, having behaviors that are more geared around being liked than versus being respected. The healthiest place to be is probably somewhere in the middle, but I will always say that the healthiest place to really be is erring on the side of commanding respect, communicating that you have respect for one another, or excuse me, for yourself, and then that respect, and then ultimately the liking hopefully comes from other people. All right, let's move on to the quote of the week, and this one came from the wonderful Miss Smith, who knocked this one out of the park. She said, Mr. Flato, I would rather be respected than liked. Here's why. I believe that when a person spends their time and efforts trying to make everyone like them, that person ends up losing who they really are, their identity. How can you ever be happy if you spend your time, talents, and efforts always trying to please others? Ugh, that sounds like a torturous mindset and horrific headspace to live in. Mr. Flato, I believe it is far braver to be yourself rather than change yourself to become what others like or want you to be. Smiley face. And I agree with that. I'm not one for quotes because they can be so trite. However, there's a poster I have on my desk because I feel so strongly About your question, the quote reads, "One of the greatest prisons people live in is the fear of what other people think." So true. It took me a long time to learn this lesson, Mr. Flato. I probably spent too much of high school life trying to please my parents, become the most popular kid in school and impress my teachers. I sacrificed my sense of self to be liked. Not worth it. Trying to get everyone that makes you unhappy, exhausted, and feel alone. In this life, there's no way that everyone will like you. Facts. Not if you are truly yourself, anyways. You got to be okay with that. You'll be happier if you do too. Don't worry, you'll find your right people. If you haven't yet, you'll find your tribe. And when you do, they'll support you and help you be your best self. Your people will help your light shine bright. They won't blow it out. Those are who your real peoples are, your real tribe. They're out there. You'll find them. Stop trying to make everyone like you. Just keep being you. Thank you so much, Miss Smith. That is amazing. All right, this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week winners: Cameron Pease, Josie Reynolds, Eleanor Peterson, Clara Hom, Liam Goodwin, and Karis Hazen. The word was tie, which completes the word parties. All right, this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week: what gets wet while drying? The heck? If you think you know, submit your answer to the Bob box. Get it turned in by the end of the week. Make sure your first and your last name is on that thing. All right, Bobcats, let's make it another great week at the Helen Middle School.